Hey, this is Jordan. This video is being recorded on the late Monday evening of November 21st, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I am going to discuss very simply the monthly charts in precious metals and the fact that they look pretty good. They seem to indicate or confirm, that's strong language, but I would say the stocks, especially the miners, the monthly charts for me offer strong confirmation that the bottom is in. And by the way, I thought about this before recording, and if you look at the S&P 500, the monthly pattern in the candles is quite different. So we also have to take that into account. That's a positive in my view, because it wouldn't be as positive if the S&P monthly candles looked exactly the same, but they don't. And as you guys probably know, I've been fighting a cold for over a week now, so I apologize for the lack of videos and content, but I'm doing my best. Hopefully this will help get me back on track. But enough rambling. Here are the monthly charts for gold and silver. And so, silver has really been the leader. Silver bottomed first in the sector. And you can see that clearly going back to July. July, I believe that's a July candle, the first blue arrow, bottom right for silver. And it made a bullish hammer, but that didn't last. So it came all the way back down, and it closed at the low in August. But it didn't go that much below the low in July. And then we have the third one, which is the white candle there. That did make a new low, but it closed the month with a strong gain. And then after that, we have, let's see, that would be October. I'm sorry, that would be October. So if you look at October, the low of October, the low for the month for silver was higher than the previous 2 months. So that was, a more indication of a bottom. And then we get the strong move this month, the really strong candle. And if we look at gold, it's a lot more simple. There's not as many candles, but, the last 3 months we can see there, it spent 3 months where it tested the low 1600s. Of course, this month, I think intraday by $1, it made the lowest low, the intraday low. But, when we're looking at the monthly chart, that's not terribly significant because, again, what we see last 3 months, that's 3 different months where gold tried to move or it tested the low 1600s. And obviously it failed. It failed to move that much lower. And we can see, so gold, you can make the case, well, the decline in gold really ended in September. Because September it had that move lower, but it closed, it closed off the low. That didn't last. Then October, it, traded, it was down as far as the body of the candle. But the low of the month, it didn't make a new low. And of course, this month, have the big move higher. So what we're seeing is positive action. I mean, this is candlestick analysis, positive action that indicates that a bottom is likely in. And look, when we're looking at candles, you have daily, weekly, monthly, even quarterly charts. So when you're looking at monthly and quarterly charts, those are way more significant than daily and weekly. So we're looking at a series of candles here. We're looking at 3 or 4, a period or we're looking at 3, 4, 5 candles. In some instances, that's 5 months worth of action. That's way more significant than if you're only looking at 5 days or 5 weeks. So I have to stress that. It's very significant when you see these developments on monthly charts. And so, I didn't want to, it'd be great if I had a mouse here and I could, highlight all the months, but the action as far as the monthly candles is even stronger when we look at the miners. And, that thin vertical line there, that's in July. And if we look at, if we start at the bottom, SILJ, the silver juniors, not really silver juniors in it, but the SILJ trades more volume than SIL. So that's why I put SILJ here. But the point is, if we look at SILJ, it didn't. I mean, that was the start of the bottoming for SILJ. It was really in July. You had a bullish hammer. Okay, the next month was bad, but it didn't go below July. Then you made a low. You made a new low in September, but the close of the month was well above that blue line. So that was a positive. And then October, a little bit of a move higher. Now we have the strong white candle in November. Well, it's not that strong, but it's stronger than we've seen the last couple months. And, moving up to GDXJ, in particular, look at the last 3 months. The arrow there, that's the bullish hammer that was in September. And November also, it traded below the blue line, but it closed above it. Then we have the strong month this month, obviously. But if we go back before the bullish hammer, that's the blue arrow for GDXJ. If we look at the two candles before that, and then we look at all five, there really wasn't that much downside after the low of July. I mean, there was a little bit, but you get my point. Now GDX, again, I mean, it's a similar look. You can see there, it came really close, or it did test the blue line in each of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. And it's clear that July it put in the bullish hammer, that was the bottom, and now it's come out of it. So that's where we're at. I mean, look at these monthly candle charts. They're making a strong argument that a bottom is in place for the precious metal sector. And again, analyzing the last 3 or 4 or 5 months of action, we're talking about monthly charts. That's way more significant than if we're looking at daily or weekly charts. Now, the real question is, what happens after this? Are we going to see, a continued move higher? Could it be kind of similar to the rebound after the 2008 bottom, or the 2016 bottom, 2020 COVID crash? Or is it going to be a little bit more like, 2018 and some of the other bottoms? And, it's possible if we look at 2018, if you go to 2018, if you focus on GDXJ right there in the middle, and you go to the summer of 2018, the bottom was in August, but it took a couple of months for it to really get going. And so what happened was the market bottomed in August, but the Fed, the last hike was in December. So the beginning of December, you had the bottom in August, but the beginning of December is really when that move higher started in earnest. So that's why I bring up 2018. There's similarities to that. And I don't know. I mean, the rally could continue. We could, have a really good bounce, and it won't be like 2018, or maybe it will be more like 2018, where the Fed's able to hike 1 or 2 more times, and maybe it's the end of December or January, and because that's the end of the Fed hiking, that's when the rally really gains traction. But regardless of all that, whether we zoom higher immediately or continue to base, I do think the bottom is in for precious metals. Let me know what you think. I know this was kind of a clumsy video because I'm, still recovering. Haven't been feeling my best, but I wanted to get this content out for you guys. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you in the next video.